Welcome, Stephan, to Metalladium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about foraging. Foraging. What this is Icelandic mythology name means earth, I think.
Right,
So, this new album, Judah Messe, that I think Judah's Messe is in Deutsch, right?
right, yeah,
Right. So, el juicio de, well, like the judgment of from Judas, right?
right. It's amazing. So it's a very special person on this record.
Okay. And we'll talk about this new album, the band, and more things related to the metal world. We're starting, I think, with a common questions in all the interviews. So, how has band been band during during the last 5 years? Because you released your last album, Lucifer S, in 2017, and now you are releasing a new album, Judas Messe.
Yeah, it became quite around us because you know the problems about Corona, about the problems with the situation. Next to this, we always had, yeah, uh, the idea we don't want to make a record during, for example, 2 years or 3 years. So we said it takes the time it needs, and so yeah, we need the time to get together as a band, and yeah, it was quite, but um, we made music, but the problem was really the Corona situation. It was very special for us the first time, and we can't play concerts, and so we decided to calm down. Next to this, all of us are parents. We have our family, and so music is still a special hobby. And on the first position is family. I think the main reason because it became quite around it.
Okay. So now, so can we say that this Judah Messe was composed and written during the pandemic, or do you have more time to complete details, etc.? No.
Judas Messe, was composed during the pandemic. That's right. A lot of ideas of the record were created before. I composed some of the ideas before, but the lyrics and the idea beyond exists were created during the pandemic. Right. That's right. It's a very special idea because of a betrayal and sick ideas of people during the pandemic, and so the situation was very special for us. And so I think also the lyrics get over in this record here.
Okay. So I remember when I heard for the first time Erne in Herbst. You have the first album from you in 2005. You are composed everything at that time. Now you are with full members for this new album. So in which time did you decide to include more members into the Fjoergyn band? Because you start all, and I think all compositions from this new album are made for you also.
In fact, the composition is still at me all the time. I have a real problem with sharing my work or sharing my ideas of composition. It's a real problem of my person. 20 years ago, I started my own just with the idea of recording a record on a very special day, also as a homage to the great bands who were involved in me during my youth. Nowadays, I also compose the most my own, but finally I've got great musicians, a very good guitarist, a very good drummer, and they give them a special note. I hope I can say it. My English isn't so good, so sorry for this. So I compose the most of the song, but the special like solo or special ideas like a drum part, drum solo, they create their own. And then we meet in the studio together and then say, maybe we try this, maybe we try this.
So continue with this interview. So I didn't know the other aspect into the music. Always the music for Fjoergyn is like a very mixed band. It's very difficult to attach to the black metal, to progressive, technical, And I think the more common element into the band is, well, black metal, just the only thing. Then you have a lot of unknown things. So how do you describe the music from Fjoergyn since the beginning to now? For me, it's especially like avant-garde, like some approach to that. But even
Yeah,
you have a progressive, technical, very different kind of stuff.
it's really really difficult. In the beginning, 20 years ago, I think it was typical pagan metal from Germany. It was the typical way. But after the first recordings, I always had the idea making something new, making the music I want to create. And so I listened to a lot of music. For example, during my work 30 minutes ago, I listened to one of my favorite Genesis records. So I love music in all its ways. And so there are no borders for me. Like, I want to make this music, I want to make this music. And that's a difficult, because if you want to say Fjoergyn plays, for example, black metal, or Fjoergyn plays orchestral, experimental metal, it doesn't work, because we try to yeah we try to make our own style of music, and we don't think about genres. So avant-garde is, I think it's the best way to describe us. We've got our own room, and I don't know any other band who makes music like Fjoergyn.
Yeah.
It's a funny part, because I don't want to be like, oh, it's the only band I know it makes music like this. But we are very special of our music, I know.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Well, it's avant-garde or a lot of stuff from progressive scene, so it's normal.
What do you think? What is it?
Well, for me, it's more like progressive black metal because you have a lot of influence. For me, for Beth went ended from the Norwegian band from the 90s. So it's hard, but it's normal. It's normal. So talking about other aspects, especially, well, you told me that it's very difficult to attach to one style, and especially with this, who came with the idea to mix these different styles? But I think I know you are came with this since the beginning to now. But which bands did you take to see this approach into the black metal? Which bands do you see to one? Obviously, drinks all the time to see. Hey, these parts because you have a lot of influence from I think from the 80s and 90s. It's normally this is kind of but which bands influence you to create this kind of music in Fjoergyn?
Yeah, it's very special. I think if you look, for example, for metal bands, there are big influences in the Norwegian black metal scene, for example, and I think Target took a very special idea to me during the 90s with the first recordings. Also, one of my favorite bands from Germany was always a Men Here or Secrets of the Moon, is very special bands during my youth. I think there are influences you can hear if you want to hear them. And also, yeah, classical music, orchestral music. I studied science of music, and also this kind of music is very important for me. So the difficult, the special thing is I want to mixture all the styles I like to transport lyric. And yeah, I think so. There are a lot of styles coming together. For example, like Secrets of the Moon on the one hand, and Falkenbach on the other hand, and some classical stuff, or maybe some rock and roll stuff. Yeah. Um, I, I think if you really want to look through the scenes, one of the most important influences for me had been the German band Secrets of the Moon. But you don't find a lot of musical stuff in Fjoergyn. But I love this band. I love this special kind of music. They're very important for me.
Mm. Well, the correct pronunciation is Fjoergyn. Nice to know. Fjoergyn.
Yeah, Fjoergyn. Right.
Fjoergyn. So, talking about all these aspects, especially from the what I'm trying to say for this the concept lyric into this Judah mess, because it's related. I think it's related to the Christian religion because Judas is some kind of person during this kind of religion, and mess is like a judgment from Judas. So
Yeah, it's a mess, in kind of, if you look, for example, if the classical music, you've got a lot of masses for famous persons, and um, Judas is a very special person for me, because I grow up with the understanding Judas is the man beyond the betrayal of the world. He said, or he sent Jesus to the cross. But everybody, if you ask a Christian, everybody would say Judas is the devil, because he said, "This is Jesus Christus, send him to the cross." But the whole idea beyond beyond Christianity works because of Judas. If Judas wouldn't betrayal, is it right? If Judas wouldn't do the betrayal to Jesus Christ, all of the Christian ideas won't work. So I think Judas is a very special person in the meaning of Christianity, in the meaning of religion, because Judas is the point who brought the idea of how can I say, a martyr. Jesus died because of Judas and his betrayal. And so everybody say Judas is the devil, but it isn't like this. Judas was a friend of him. And if you look nowadays, for example, or if you look to the human history, you find the betrayal everywhere. And you never, there's a very special word or a special sentence in German. Everybody loves the betrayal, but everybody hates the person who betrays.
Okay. Oh, nice. Nice concept to,
Yeah,
to know.
and I think Judas is a very special person because everybody looks at him and says, he sent Jesus to the cross. But he's a very special person in the context. All of the Christianity, all idea beyond, wouldn't work if Judas didn't do this in a special way. So we look to this, to the meaning of betrayal, for example, to the meaning of promises. If you look, for example, to the story of Prometheus we thought about. So what he did, he took a betrayal to his father for the mankind, and we also have a look at Cain and the story of Cain and Abel, and we look to Lucifer, who did betrayal. He was the most famous, the most beautiful angel in a Christian religion. And we look to this and want to say betrayal and how can I say, the reason for betrayal is everywhere, and you find it everywhere, and you find it in every time of human history. And so we took this special idea of Judas to understand human behavior nowadays and centuries before. I hope you know what I mean.
No. I understand the word. I understand.
Thank you.
Oh, other aspect that I don't know about the music for Fjoergyn. Yeah, that's right. Fjoergyn was all lyrics composed in Deutsch. That's a curious thing. But why do you decide to compose all lyrics in Deutsch? Some people tries. And I remember when I spoke with the atrocity with atrocity people, and he told me that at the 90s, they have a lot of trouble with trying to confuse the Nazism because they spoke in German, etc., etc. And what is your opinion about this aspect to speak in their language, but at the same time is more related with the aspect with the nationalism?
It's a very simple way. My language, my German language, is very, very good. So you see, my English language, I've got difficulties because I don't use it as often. And if I want to transport a message, I use the easy way. So during the 90s, there had a lot of metal bands used English language. And for example, I do it a very simple example. If you look to Bon Jovi, I listen to Bon Jovi, I love Bon Jovi. If you translate a song like Runaway, in your mother language, it's like, what the fuck, what fucking lyrics. And so the English lyric doesn't work for me anyway, because I can't transport the message I want to do. And so it was very easy for me to use it in German. um, I think there are no good translations of the German lyrics, because I think they're really, really good. They are a little bit pathetic, it's real. But the German lyrics are really, really good. And I'm not able to transport them in another language. That's the reason for it. There's nothing about, I really, really hate the idea behind, yeah, fascism or national socialistic ideas. It doesn't. I never would have an idea, for example, German language and do this together, because I just use this language for me because it's my mother tongue. So all ideas I can explain in a better way if I use the German language. That's the only reason for it. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm sure if you listen to them in the foreign countries, for example, like Rammstein, everybody knows Rammstein, and
Yeah,
the
Rammstein,
special
yeah.
way that they pronounce like Rammstein, it always looks like typical German way. It's we don't have anything in common with this. It's just the most easy way to transport my lyrics. And nowadays, I already think about creating a record in English, really, because I want to try something new.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, no, all I think the last 20 years, all bands from black metal, especially from Germany, talking about the black metal, are talking in Deutsch, because the last year I released Traumen from, I don't remember the name, but the all bands from Trolls from Records are related with this the German the German language. All bands speaking German, they play black metal. It's a curious thing. Some and also this well, and also other curious thing about the black metal scene in German now is that even related, but in general much better, in general, about extreme music, is the all extreme music since the 90s to now are related with the progressive technical stuff. As I told you, is the one band Atrocity always plays technical the metal. The first two albums, then Dark Fortress is more like a progressive technical black metal, and a lot of movements like Obscura, a lot of bands more Cytotoxin, all technical, dead, progressive, and also Fjoergyn is like progressive, avant-garde, experimental. So, and even if we relate to this aspect, all these kind of bands are trying to export a sound around the world with this kind of mixed. But if we speak about the common sense about the black metal, death metal, Germany didn't export a great extreme metal bands. No talking about the power heavy, death black, no the trash. This is other kind of scene. But why now the extreme metal bands in in Deutschland are very related with technical extreme, avant-garde, experimental. I don't know.
It's a very good question. It's a very, very good question. Maybe if you work as most people start the band during the youth, so when they start playing instruments, and I think a lot of people, also me, started working in a very stupid way in instruments. There were no special techniques they can play, and after a lot of years playing with some musicians, studying, learning, the music improved, and suddenly they have no opportunities to open their music. And I think it's a very special way because of this. Because if you, for example, if you look to Sweden and you look to the music scene there, also young bands, really young bands, underground bands, have a very, very musical knowledge in kind of playing instruments. And most people, for example, Fjoergyn doesn't have. Really, I'm a very, very terrible guitarist. It's enough to play our stuff. But if I look, for example, to very special bands like also OPEP or something, it's just like, yeah, I have a guitar and nothing more. And I think during the process, for example, Dark Fortress, they also started very young, and I think that when they've got a 25-year history also, they became better, and so they try more. Also, they want to have a very maybe a single position in the music landscapes. Nowadays, you know the problem. There are millions of bands. 20 years ago, it was no problem to get a label deal or record deal, because if you have some new ideas, or also if you copy a band, for example, if you see Fjoergyn it was a very good record, but nowadays I would say, yeah, it's a nice idea beyond Falkenbach. It's a nice idea beyond Men Here. I think it's most bands became more special to get the single position, maybe to have a very special position in music scene. And all of them, like Fjoergyn, um, we are small band. We are really small band. Also, Dark Fortress, I love them. Stephan, one of my most favorite records. Um, but we are small bands, and
Mm,
I think so. Maybe the musicians try to have get a better position, or a special position in doing something special.
yeah, yeah. Well, that is true. That is true. So, talking about the aspects of the well, no, you know the when oh, as I told you, the only thing they're more recognizable in your music is the black metal stuff. So there's more that for more people is relating to the music, the for Fjoergyn with this black metal stuff, a lot of music with black metal. So, but a curious thing is that usually a gatekeeper from the sound of the black metal, or the policeman, like policemen in the black metal, they don't accept this kind of mix into the black metal. They always stick with this with the mayhem, backheaded, with the old stuff from the 90s. So how do you deal with this aspect? It always has like a rejection of these or the black metal or the black metal area, no?
In fact, I understand them. I grow up with the old stuff. I love the old stuff. And if people ask me what music we do, we always say we make special music. We don't say black metal, because if you really have an idea about black metal, like you say Beffery, or all the first three records of Darkfront, no, the second, the first, and the fourth record of Darkfront, that had a very special meaning. They had a very special kind of movement. And we use typical elements of this music, but I would not say we play typical black metal. We use these ideas. Also, we use ideas of classical music, and we also use ideas of some punk or rock and roll stuff. So I really, really understand them. I have a good, what can I say, relationship to musicians of the extreme or more extreme black metal scene. And in fact, we are best friends. But I always say Fjoergyn is special. So we we are friends, but I say it's a special kind of music. I can't listen to them because it's not black metal, it's not death metal, it's something special. And it's okay for me, because in my world, I want to create a band, I want to create music I like. And
Mm,
so I know the problems with um, discussing which kind of music is it, or is this real black metal? I also would always say no, it isn't. It's very
okay.
special.
Okay, good. So we are very close to this interview, Stephanie. For this aspect, what are the future plans that the band has for this new album, Judames? Perhaps you will embark in a new European tour. Perhaps you will have some proposals from United States, or who knows? You are talking with some people here in Latin America. Who knows? Who knows really?
Um, First of all, let me say it's a very special thing for me. If I think about the future and talking to you, it's very cool. It's the first interview I do via interview. It's very special for me. And um, Fjoergyn, I don't know, for example, if we have a European tour or a Germany tour, because the band doesn't. It's funny, but we don't have a management. We don't. look for a concert. So if some club or a concert ask us or festival ask us, hey, do you want to play? And we say, yes, no problem, we want to. But we don't try to become more famous, because it's a lot of work, and also we are all in work processes, so we don't have the time. If I have a dream, so if somebody would ask me, what do you want to do with your new record, then for sure I want to play some shows, and maybe play some shows outside of Germany, because Germany is a bit of how can I say, they are not hungry for new stuff. We've got too much metal bands, we've got too much concert, and I wanted to get more in foreign countries, just to get in contact with the people I don't know. 2050 we've been to Russia. It was very special, with only small clubs and with no more than 50 people, but they were great concerts. The people were really, really cool. They were thankful for our show. We had great talks to each other, and maybe it could be an idea for the future of Fjoergyn. For sure, we want to promote a new record. It's sure, but if, for example, if I don't know, if Brazil, Colombia, or something would say, hey, you want to visit us for a concert, we'd say, we are there. Just pay the plane, we come to you. Just pay the flight, we come to you. Would be perfect for us. All of us, we love to travel. We love to get in contact with people around the world. So I think that's one of the most reasons we do this work. We do the musician for.
Mm. Okay. Other aspect that I didn't know about your music is, as you told me, you compose everything. You are in charge of everything of the composition of this new album, no? So with this aspect and relating with the artificial intelligence, so now you can do everything by yourself with artificial intelligence, because you can do the drum machine, the bass machines. You can record everything by yourself. Now it's possible. So why do you decide to include new members now, and not doing everything by yourself with artificial intelligence? And how will be the impact for you to use this kind of technology in the music?
That's one of the best questions I ever had. That's a very, very, very good question. In fact, you don't need any band anymore. That's right. You don't need it. If you look, for example, to bands like Ghost, Tobias Forge do it a perfect job for its own. It doesn't need the musicians beyond. In fact, he's got a very good guitarist, and they play a very good instrument. So he needs the specific, the fine stuff, the tuning stuff for finishing. I think Fjoergyn exists because of friendship. That's a fact. Me and my drummer, we get together 20 years ago, and we are best friends. And I think that's a special position beyond. A lot of people came to our band and they left it once more. So it's a very special situation for us. We are together with all of the musicians since 2040 or 30. That's very special. It's a very long time for us, because it's also special to work together with, for example, Martin, our drummer, and me, because we are really, really special persons. And nowadays, all of us, we are friends, and we use the time we have together in the how can I say, in our playroom, where we get together at the band, just to have the time together. So we do the music. I came with my ideas. Most of them say, yeah, we do it like this. It's a good idea, but we enjoy the time together. If you go by bus on tour or concert, the most important thing is to be friended with each other. That's a very important thing for me. I want to make music with my friends. And that's a main reason Fjoergyn still exists also, of all the new technical possibilities. But I need the persons around me. Those are really, really special persons.
Okay. Well, one of the last questions is, Fjoergyn is a band like without boundaries. So because you can mix everything with everything, that's amazing. But and usually talking about these aspects to for the musician to leave external and internal motives to create music and carry away by the feelings that you have in the moment when they create the song, the albums, the riffs, etc. Usually, two parts are connected, very attached with this aspect. First is with the concept where you carry away by the feelings and create the song. But at the same time, you create the song thinking of the mathematical aspect. So three rhymes, three riffs, three aspects. We repeat this aspect, not repeat this aspect, etc., etc. So for you, how do this part connect to create music and the music for Fjoergyn?
Um, in fact, when I write music, I don't look like a concept. So you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. So a song is first is open. I have an idea and I write on it. The most problem people had, musicians we were working together with, was um, Fjoergyn always changes song. So you don't have, for example, it begins like this and it ends like this. So every song is open from the beginning. I compose them from the first note to the end. And I don't use a system because maybe I don't have an idea how it gets. So it's a kind of if you are a good guitarist, you just know, yeah, I play this, I play this, I play this. It's very simple because they learn in school. I do it my own. I learn it my own. So I created ideas. How could a good riff sounds like? How could a song sound like? So the most idea during composition is I have an yeah I have an idea, a riff. I have a lot of rememberings of other songs I heard before, and then I said, all right, maybe a kind of this, maybe a kind of this, and then I try mixing this. It's really a kind of mixing. So that's also a problem maybe a lot of people have with Fjoergyn. These songs um, don't how, how can I say entstehen, don't get um, short moment. I look what it means. Develop. The songs don't develop in our playroom, so they develop in my head and by trying and mixing and so. And so for most people who listen to them, it's not like a rock and roll song, just like on and it works. So it's always a kind of now it works this, now this part, now this part, now this part, and
Mhm.
it's very difficult for them. But it's the kind of my composition. It's the kind of I do. It's a kind of doing like a score for a movie. So it changed with the lyrics and it changed with an idea suddenly. And I don't like, for example, a repetition of something. I'm not a friend of it.
Hmm. Okay. Well, Stephen, the sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. You're a terrific guy. Congratulations on this new album. We did a review on our web, so you can read it when you have time. So perhaps it's a great record.
You like?
I'm expecting when the Trolls on open the pre-order to do it because really love this last album. So perhaps do you want to add something to your Latin American fans and Metallidium followers?
Um, the words I want to leave here is thanks a lot. It's thanks to you, thanks to your country, thanks to people around the globe who listen to our music, who spend time in our music. Also, they have problems with the lyrics, with the translation of the lyrics, or with the special way we do music. No band would be anything without listeners, and I'm really, really glad I have the possibility to talk to you. I'm really happy you find the time to talk to us and to listen to this record. Thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate it. It's very special for us. People listen to my music, to our music. Thank you.